Hello there, tamers, trainers, and domesticators, and welcome back to Vox Syreni Unboxings. Here we have a booster box of Digital Hazard and the promo pack, dash pack. And here I have Maddie from MadsRenai with me today. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll be joining just because I dropped by.
Yeah, she's here in meat space.
Yeah, we've been collaborating before, but now we can actually collaborate in person. Well, for now at least.
Okay, I think we'll just open the dash pack first.
Mm-hmm.
See if we can actually get a Grand Quagamon.
What is in the dash pack again?
Either a promo Walkerimon, a promo Grand Quagamon, or a promo Metal Garurumon.
Okay.
Black, of course, because that's the sleek color for all the fashionistas out there. We got Grand Quagamon, which is again the expensive card in the pack because of Grandest Quagamon coming out.
Oh.
So yeah, it's pretty awesome. You got one of those too, right?
Yeah, for clarification, I opened mine before we got here, and I accidentally destroyed it with a scissor. So, well, not entirely. Got a bit of a scratch. I'm a dum-dum.
Well, aren't we all? Okay. So let's move in here. I already removed the plastic.
Yeah, I should remember to do that on mine
too. We actually have two displays, but we're only going to be opening one on my channel. I'm going to be opening another one on hers.
More on that later.
So getting in here, the box topper is the alternative art Imperial Demon Dragon mode from the Star deck.
Oh, cool.
So that's pretty cool. If you want to know more about that, you can see that at what's it called, my previous unboxing. I am very excited for this booster, the Digital Hazard booster, because it's like a celebration of the Tamers anime, which was one of the best Digimon animes today.
Oh.
I know you already know about it because I talked your head off.
Yeah, but I can still seem interesting.
But yeah, so let's get in here and see what Tamers references we're getting. Spoilers may be ahead.
I mean, spoilers for an anime that's how old by now?
I don't know, 20 years?
Well, just slightly old.
First here we're getting Gargomon, the Gatling Gun Rabbit, one of the coolest Digimon out there. You know, when you ever look at a rabbit and you're thinking that's a pretty cool animal, but you know what would make it cooler? A Gatling gun. Definitely a Gatling gun. When this Digimon would Digivolve, if you have a green Tamon play, reduce the illusion cost by 1. That's pretty neat. That plays into how green really loves to be cheap about everything, about evolution. It also has an inherited during your turn. When an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, this Digimon gets plus 2,000. Green likes to suspend things, so that's good
synergy.
Yeah, potential synergy at least. And we have Andromon, the partner to Castle. You want to what?
No, a bit up, because you're a bit up there, because otherwise you're a bit too far down.
I like that. Okay. Yeah. It's just a blocker. All of the Digimon block gets plus 2,000. So it's a pretty big blocker that makes all the blockers bigger, which again works really well with black.
Nice.
It's interesting because I haven't seen many of the cards from this booster be in the meta, or be in any of the top tier decks. So it might be a booster that's more for enthusiasts than it is for competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen a few of the cards show up in some decks, but I haven't seen anyone do like Sakuyamon deck or Mega Gargmon deck or anything like that. D-Reaper has been relevant though. Cubimon. Reveal the top 3 cards. Also, take anything I say about the competitive meta with a grain of salt because I don't actually play competitively. I play really casually, and I don't pay that much attention to the tournaments. When Digimon reveal the top 3 cards of the deck, add 1 option card with plugin in its name among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck. So, the plugin cards are cards from the Hyper Colosseum card game that was prominent in the Tamers anime as well, because it was like a cross promotion for the card game back then. So that's a different Digimon card game. It's cards that are now in this Digimon card game, and this one can search them.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Inherited. During your turn, once a turn, when you use an option card with the cost 2 or more, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn. Neat. We have another common here. It's ADR07 Palatat, which is one of the D-Reapers.
That looks freaky.
Oh yeah, the D-Reaper is like absolutely nightmare fuel. If you have the Mother D-Reaper in play, you may suspend this Digimon to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with DP less than or equal to this Digimon's DP. And since this thing has 3000, I'm not sure how good that is.
That can be good to clear for small things.
We already got Fist of the Beast Queen. 2-cost blue option card that is supposed to be used with Leomon. Has the following effect. While you have a Digimon with Beelzemon in its name in play, you may use this card without meeting its color requirements. Main, unsuspend one of your Digimon with Leomon or Beelzemon in its name. So basically, Fist of the Beast Queen allows you to attack again either with a Leomon or Beelzemon. And because it doesn't need color requirements when you have Beelzemon, you can use it in purple decks with Beelzemon.
Oh.
And that's actually a reference to the anime. As I said, spoilers ahead. You see in Digimon Tamers there's this mechanic where when a Digimon defeats another Digimon, they can absorb the data of that Digimon. And as you all know, Leomon always dies, and he was killed by Beelzemon. And there is actually a really, really touching scene where Beelzemon has to save the tamer whose partner was Leomon. So he's basically the murderer of her best friend. But he's like going through his redemption arc, he's going through regret, and he's trying to save her. And then he uses Fist of the Beast King and then gets her attention because that's Leomon's move. Oh. So that's a really, really nice reference. So yeah.
Why is that not dual color instead of having that piece of text? Oh, does that have to do when it was originally released?
It's a new card. I think that's because Fist of the Beast King is like Leomon's attack, and it's an exception that Beelzemon can use it.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah.
Oh, if I'm asking weird, stupid questions, it's because I don't know that much about this game, despite playing it a bit.
We have ADR09 Gatekeeper. It's a card that can be played from security. It has recovery +1 on play if you have Mother D Reaper in play. During the opponent's turn, while you have Mother D Reaper with 6 or more Digivolution cards in play, all of your opponent's Digimon gains -1 to a security attack.
Oof.
Yeah, that's some good defense, all right?
Yeah.
Here we have Ice Devimon. Ice Devimon is actually one of those Digimon that has very little to do with Tamers, hilariously. But it has a very iconic episode in the early on that does a lot of character growth for Rudy. I can pronounce Japanese names. She's known as Rika Nonaka in the West. She's trying to be stronger and stronger and stronger, and Ice Devimon is like a very strong Digimon that has kidnapped her and her Digimon and saying, why don't you replace Renamon with me? I'm stronger. And that kind of puts things into perspective for Ruri, because she has to learn to, not just care about strength, but also care about her friends. It's a good episode. It's a very iconic episode. But that's also the only episode out of 54 episodes, I think, where Ice Devimon is in.
Yeah, okay.
So here's ADR08 Optimizer, another D-Reaper. On play, when attacking once per turn, if one of your Mother D-Reaper has 5 or more Digivolution cards, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may play one card with D-Reaper in its trait and play a cost of 10 or less among them without paying its memory cost. Place remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. So this thing is not just search, it's a search that can summon.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
It seems like D-Reaper just as a deck could be an interesting play.
It looks interesting, yeah. I'm not sure about this one. But yeah. And we got our first Digitama. It is Viximon, the baby form of Renamon. It has the inherited during your turn, once per turn. When you use an option card, because 2 or more, draw 1 card. Again, supposed to be used together with the plug-in cards. Mm-hmm. Then we have Death Slinger, one of Beelzemon's attacks. When this card is thrashed from your deck, gain 1 memory. Fair enough. That's going to happen every so often. Mm-hmm. Main, delete one of your opponent's level 4 lower Digimon. For every 10 cards in your trash, add 1 maximum level of the Digimon you can choose with this effect. Ooh.
I didn't catch that, but just keep on.
You play Lilithmon. Her effect first goes off when you have +10 trash.
Sure.
If you have +10 in trash, this one can delete one that's not level 4 but level 5. If you have 20, it can delete one that's level 6.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't technically play Lilithmon yet. We're trying to make a deck that works. It's not going so well.
And we got our first rare, and look at that shine. This is Calamon. When you would play this card from hand, reduce its play cost by 2 if you have Guilmon, Terriermon, Renamon, or Impmon in play. So it can be relatively cheap at one play cost Digimon. It's also levelless.
Wait, that's a thing?
Yeah, all the D-Reapers are also levelless.
Oh.
Because they're not really Digimon. But Calamon is like an exception Digimon. That's some sort of unique thing. It's never quite explained, if I remember correctly. It has like a relation to the harmonious ones, or the 4 great sovereigns, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, during your turn, this Digimon can't attack, which also makes sense. Calamon is more of a support Digimon than an offensive type Digimon. It's also why it's levelless. It has the ability to make other Digimon evolve.
Oh.
Yeah. It doesn't have a partner, but it hangs around the tamer characters. And it's like support to Guilmon, Terriermon, Renamon, and Impmon, the 4 main ones, and it helps them evolve. Well, not Impmon, because Impmon cheats, but it's besides one. During your turn, when one of your Digimon digivolves, you may suspend this Digimon to gain 1 memory. And then draw 1, and have one of your Digimon gets plus 3000 DP for the turn. So it does a lot of stuff when you digivolve.
It also has a lot of text.
It does have a lot of text.
It's like a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Oof, it's like a Yu-Gi-Oh. And then we have a super rare Megidramon.
Wait, isn't it Megidramon?
If you want to go by the Digimon the World Next Order pronunciation, is Megidramon.
Fair.
But yeah, Megidramon, which you may look at this thing and be like, that's not Gallantmon, but it is indeed a mega version of Guilmon. It did appear in the anime right after Beelzemon actually had killed Leomon. Tagato got so angry that he got his own Dark Digivolution scene. Those of you who don't know what Dark Digivolution is, you have not seen enough Digimon.
I have not.
A Dark Digivolution happens when a tamer mistreats the Digimon and tries to force them to evolve.
Right.
It usually happens under the stress of some kind, and then the Digimon goes like evil or berserk or whatever.
That happened in Adventure 1, right?
Yeah, it did. It's actually kind of like a homage to Adventure. That entire episode is a homage to Adventure. First we kill Leomon, like they did in Adventure, and then we do a Dark Digivolution for protagonists, just like they did in Adventure. All the good stuff.
All the check marks.
Interesting also, this Digimon also counts as being Chaos Gallantmon, so that's interesting. When a Digivolves, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 10,000 DP or less. If no Digimon was deleted by this effect, thrash the top 5 cards of both players' decks. Which plays back to the whole thing about Megidron being kinda, how do I put it? Not self-destructive, but destructive to the tamer at the point. Like it defeated Beelzemon and then it turned to Tagato, and Tagato had to really appeal to Guilmon's heart to get Guilmon back. Quite an emotional scene for what it's worth. On deletion, you may play 1 Guilmon and 1 Takato Matsuki from your hand and or thrash without paying the memory cost. So when Megidramon disappears, Guilmon comes back. Again, referencing that same episode. Interestingly, Megidramon is actually the only Mega Digimon that is Digivolved 2 among the main tamers in the show that isn't a Biomatrix evolution. And for those of you who don't know what a Biomatrix evolution is, it's when the tamer has such a close bond with the Digimon that they can fuse with them to reach a higher level.
Oh,
yeah. Which is also why it's the only non-humanoid mega form as well.
See, this is one of the things that's interesting about your unboxings, if I may insert something here. That because you know basically everything about the anime, you can put in small like details about, oh yeah, this is a reference to, which is
Yeah, yeah.
Which is interesting.
I'm also gonna correct myself. It's not the only Digimon that digivolves to Mega that isn't a bio-merge. But again, Impmon cheats. Locomon.
It's a train.
It's in Treat the Train. When this Digimon would digivolve into a ground Locomon in your hand, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. I don't think this is one of the best cards in the set, but it's cute nonetheless. Interesting that Locomon does not have an appearance in the anime. It's when Locomon. I don't remember. It's from the movie. I don't remember if it starts as Locomon and then digivolve into ground Locomon, or if it's just ground Locomon from the beginning. It might be that, but
I wouldn't know.
But regardless, Locomon is here because of its relationship to the movie. Dividramon. With Retaliation and Inherited Attack, you may trust to 2 cards of your deck. That's not bad.
Draymon.
Oh my fucking god. I hate that game so much just because of that. Like, it's a great game, but frick everyone's pronunciation of Dra. It's Dramon. Not Draymon.
Oh, it's a dragon.
So yeah, Dividramon actually, the reason it's here, it's one of those things, it's kind of like Ice Devimon. If you haven't watched every single episode of Tamers, you wouldn't know why it's here, you wouldn't understand it, because it's like, it's not one of the main characters anymore. What's going on here? Dividramon specifically is from the episode where Gilmon evolves for the first time. It actually, when it appears, Impmon starts by taunting it, because it hasn't fully materialized yet, and Impmon is like, haha, you can't hit me, you can't hit me. And then it's like, then it materializes and he's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be standing here.
Oh no.
Labmon, which is actually one of the main characters Digimon, well, one of the supporting cast Digimon. It's Shu's Digimon, which is the little sister to Lee, who's called Henry in the Western version. He has Terriermon, she has Labmon. It's kind of cute how they pair up like that. On play, if you have 3 of your security cards and Shu Chongwon in play, recovery +1. That's pretty okay. Here we have the first plugin.
Oh.
So slash a card. When you have a team in play, you may use this card without meeting its color requirements, which is something all the plugin cards can do. You can, as long as you have a tamer that can card slash it, it works. Who cares about color, right? For the turn, one of your Digimon gains jamming and can't be blocked by opponent's Digimon, which is actually quite fitting for high-speed plugin D, which is like a speed upgrade to a Digimon. It's like it dodges every attack, so it has jamming, so the security Digimons can't hit it, and also can't be blocked, so the opponent's Digimon can't stop it. That's typically how it's been used in the anime, is to, you know, be agile and be smart. ADR 06 Horn Striker, another Reaper. Your turn, while you have Mother D Reaper in play, this Digimon gains Rush. 7,000 at Rush. It's not useless.
Sure.
I think it's just I have looked at all the D Reaper cards, and I think this one might be one of the least interesting ones.
That makes sense.
Offensive plugin A. Oh, actually, the security is straw one, so it's not like the others where I skipped the security effect on most opening cards because most of them is just like use the effect of the card or use the nerfed effect of the card. But I should probably read these because these are actually different. Again, while you have a team in play, fuck color requirements, one of your Digimon gains security +1 for the turn. Hey, I'm allowed to do that. I'm an artist.
Yeah, it shakes the camera.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why I'm doing it.
For those of you who don't know, because you can't see that, I was tripping with the leg. You know, that's neurotypical people. You will never know the pain of having to try not to shake your leg.
I know the pain too.
Security effect: reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 tamer card among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards of the deck in any order. So this one can search for tamer if it ends up in security. Useful. ADR 07 palette set. We already seen this one.
Yep.
ADR 04 bubbles.
Bubbles.
Security, you may place 1 ADR 02 searchers from in play or from your hand under one of your Mother D Reapers as its bottom Digivolution card. On play, you may place one of your ADR2 searchers from in play or from your hand under one of your Mother D Reapers as a bottom distribution card. So this one can make the Mother D Reaper bigger.
Ah, okay.
War Growlmon, the ultimate form of Guilmon. When attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. If you have a red tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less instead. Inherited, during your turn, add 1000 to the maximum DP you can choose with DB-based deletion effects. That's interesting, and I believe that does synergize with Megidramon. Do you want to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 10,000 DP or less? Yeah, it does synergize. Cool. That's an uncommon, so that goes here.
Might want to move a bit up again.
Oh yeah, I do that sometimes.
Oh yeah, but just trying to help.
It's fine. Kenta Kitagawa. So this is one of the two supporting cast characters for protagonist Tagato. His best friends, Kenta and Kazu. They actually go with. They don't believe him at first when he tells them that he has a live Digimon, of course. And when they find out and he's going to the digital world, they kind of go with him, hoping that they can find their own partners. And they do eventually, but for most of the for most of the anime, they just run around up to all kinds of random Digimon. It's like, do you want to be my partner? And most of the time they get no. There is actually a brilliant episode where they run into a Gigi and Babamon, and Gigi and Babamon is like, that sounds like fun, and because Gigi and Babamon is like pretty smart, they end up tricking the kids to the point where they got to a point where the kids, Kazu and Kenta, are pretending to be Digimon, while Gigi and Babamon are pretending to be tamers. It's a great episode. But yeah.
So in this universe, does Digimon already exist as a fictional thing in the real world?
Yes and no. It's complicated with the law. Digimon has existed for a while. They were actually invented by a couple of guys who wanted to create a fun video game, but then they realized that they had tapped into something that wasn't just a video game, and they shut it down.
That's a pretty typical thing in Digimon games, isn't it? That you accidentally tap into the digital world and find something that might not be a good idea.
But that's the thing. Digimon has been merchandised, and they exist as a card game that all the children are into. And it turns out that these cards actually can interact with the Digimon and so on, which is why the card slash thing is relevant. Like basically the rules of the card games work to an extent in the universe, although that's in theory. In practice, what happens is that, oh no, we're losing. Card slash, now we're winning.
Pay to win. Credit card.
But yeah, Kenta's partner is actually Marine Angemon, which does not digivolve into it. I know that's also a mega, but his partner, he just meets a Marine Angemon and partners with it.
Oh.
Never digivolves. It's just a mega from the get-go. So yeah, your turn. When you would play Marine Angemon from your hand, reduce its play cost by 1. Your turn. When you play a blue Digimon, you may suspend this tamer to trash the bottom distribution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, if the Digimon played is Marine Angemon, trash the bottom distribution card of all of your opponent's Digimon. So that's not. Oh, we got him with his partner in the same booster. Oh, I love when stuff like that happens. Okay, yeah, that's Marine Angemon. Unplay for each of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards, recovery +1. This effect can't increase the number of cards in your security stack to 6 or more. So it can go max up to 6. But that's still pretty cool. It's also a blue-yellow one, so it can be used in both yellow and blue decks. Yeah, it is. I honestly think it might be worthwhile to run that with Shakumon and run a Kenta Yori or Cody deck, because I'm thinking that not because there's any particular synergies, but because they both like yellow-blue cards. And I think it could be fun because they're both kind of like sideline support characters. Even though Iori shouldn't have been, he's one of the 4 main characters of O2, but he gets sidelined a lot and he really drew the short end of the stack for that. We got Lee!
Hey!
Henry Wong, the brother to Shu, and one of the 3 main characters. Oh, 4 counting Impan. Start of the turn, if you're 2 memory less, get to 3. So some standard memory control. During your turn, when you attack with Digimon with Gargomon or Rapidmon in its name, you may suspend this tamer to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, which is not bad. I really want to run a Terriermon deck, and if you're running a Terriermon deck, you need to use both Lee and Wallace, Henry and Willis. I know I have to specify the dub names after the fact.
I know, for my sake at least.
The standard viewer probably doesn't know either, so it's like, which is not. I'm not opposed to dubs. I'm not that much of a snob, but I'm opposed to dub names because it usually comes from an. We don't think children. It either comes from a we don't think children are smart enough that they can understand names that aren't American.
Wallace
Wallace to Willis is extra stupid because that's a Western name exchanged for a Western name. I also think Johan from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX who gets dubbed Jesse.
What?
Isn't like seriously sometimes 4Kids is also like the worst at it, but also this is from Vox that dubbed this one. So also fuck Fox, especially their news, and Tucker Carlson, fuck him. He can go to hell for all I care. This became a little bit political, but but yeah, I'm opposed to dub names because either it comes from we think the children watching are too stupid to understand the names or pronounce names, or it comes from a we don't want Japanese culture here, so we want to erase it. It's either or, and it's like there are no good reason to do this, and it annoys me. Anyways, Growlman.
Yeah.
When attacking, I had to finish my thought.
It's fair. Yeah.
When attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 2000 DP or less. If you have a red team on play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 or less. As inherited when attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has Growlmon or Gallantmon in its name, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. Interesting. So that's why this one counts as Chaos Gallantmon, is so that it synergizes with this one.
Oh.
Well, I assume it's also so that you can play it in Chaos Gallantmon decks, which might be interesting to do. Make one. Mm-hmm. Here's Strike-Dramon, which I do believe we never saw in the anime. I might misremember that. I know we never saw all of the forms of Cyberdramon, but this is Cyberdramon's champion form, or adult form. When Digimon reveal the top 4 cards of the deck, add one black tamer among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards of the bottom deck in any order. As inherited, when attacking, if you have 2 or more black tamers in play, gain 1 memory. Interesting about Cyberdramon is that it's a very aggressive Digimon that needs a really experienced tamer to rein it in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which is why its tamer is Ryo Akiyama, which is the main character of a very popular Digimon game that everyone has played on the Japanese exclusive WonderSwan.
Why do they do that kind of thing? Why might my hair?
Oh, do you know what is hilarious about that? He was added to the anime so that the fans of Digimon had a character they could latch onto because they already knew him. Because Tamers didn't have any of the characters from the Adventure show as the first show that didn't connect back to Adventure. But then when they released it in the West, he's basically just a cameo character that appears every once in a while, and they hype him up as like someone you should know, as someone who's really really cool. but it's just like we don't know who this is.
Who's that weirdo?
He is a cool character for what it's worth, but it's hilarious how hard they try. they try to do that, and it only works in the Japanese one because everyone already knows who it is. It's like they do that with Hunters, with Digimon Hunters 2, the anime, if anyone has watched that, Digimon Cross Wars Hunters, where suddenly Tai shows up and it's like, oh, it's Tai! But they don't really introduce him per se or do anything with him to explain who it is. It's just that if you already knew who it was, it's like, oh, it's Tai! And that's basically how Ryo is treated in the show a lot. It's like, oh, it's Ryo! Who's Ryo? Mephistomon. This is a movie villain. There were multiple Tamers movies. This is from a different movie than the Locomon movie. Just in case you watch the Tamer show, I have no idea why this thing is here. Okay. On play, draw 2 cards and then trash 2 cards. I don't think that's really good. I actually just think Lady Devimon is straight up better because she does the same, but she does it on Digivolution. Like, I'd rather pay 3 to Digivolve and then get the effect, and I want to pay 7 to get the effect. But they're also both level 5, so it's like, your inherited better be good. You may trash 1 card in your hand to gain 1 memory. when attacked. That's a good effect.
Decent.
Yeah. Here we have Ice Digimon again.
You have
And
far on the left.
oh, right. And here we have Seasamon. It has jamming. We already have a Seasamon with jamming. We already have a Seasamon with jamming. I also think it has the same stats. I don't remember if the other Seasamon is yellow or blue though. It might be yellow. But I just find it hilarious. We have 2 nearly identical Seasamons, or maybe identical Seasamons, with different set numbers so you can run 8. Seasamon is the natural evolution to Labramon, which also can evolve into Dobbermon, which was if I remember correctly, I might be wrong about that, was a fan creation maybe? I'm not sure. I do believe that the tamer that is attached to Dobbermon, which also appears pretty much like Rio, like a cameo, I think she was supposed to be a fan of the show that they got to represent in the show with her. Either it was that kid's favorite Digimon or it was their original creation. I don't remember. Doublemon is still a very popular Digimon. In fact, I think we might see a Doublemon in Survive, maybe, because we have a Labramon in Survive. But yeah, Labramon can split evolve into Seasamon and Doublemon. We never saw Labramon in the anime, but it is both the rookie that goes into Seasamon and Doublemon, so it goes into 2 other Digimons that are relevant for the show. Kinda. Seasamon never appeared in the show. Oh, actually, yes, it did. Now that I think about it, it did appear in the movie, and one of the characters had it. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe one of the characters in the movie did have Labramon and evolved into. I have watched the show more than I watched the movies, so excuse me if I don't remember this accurately.
Fair.
I think I might, but Seasamon also evolves into Kataramon, which is one of the Devas, and the Devas was really big in the show as well. I don't think any of the Devas is in the booster aside from Intellimon.
Your center of camera is roughly here.
Right, got it.
Just so everywhere.
But yeah, the thing about the Devas is that they're like the 12th Digimon based off of the Chinese zodiac.
Oh.
Yeah, Kataramon is the dog and Intellimon is the rabbit.
The thing that Pokemon fans believe that the fire starters are, but it's not true.
I might have believed it until Fennekin hit the table. Yeah. Fennekin is the one that straight up disproves it to me. Like, don't get me wrong. Cyndaquil is also the wrong animal, but Cyndaquil happened so early on that it's one of those things where it's like you could have filled it in retrospect if it was one of those self-fulfilling prophecies where the fans got the idea around Torchic, and then the Game Freak would be like, that sounds like fun. Let's just pretend Cyndaquil was a mouse all along, and then let's keep going. But then Fennekin came out, and I just don't believe it anymore.
Back to Digimon. Sorry for the tangent.
Yeah. Labramon, here it is in the same booster.
Perfect.
When attacking, if this Digimon has jamming, gain 1 memory. Cool. That's meant to directly synergize with Seasamon. Makes sense. So yeah. Gorillamon. Okay. So Gorillamon is also one of those Digimon that only appeared in 1, maybe 2 episodes.
Okay.
Gorillamon's thing is that it's actually a rival Digimon to Terriermon to an extent. Henry Wong, or Lee, whichever you want to call him, had a run-in with Gorillamon in his video game. I know I said they weren't really a video game because they shut it down. It is Henry Wong / Lee's dad who made that game. So he has it on his computer. He had a run-in with Gorillamon where Terriermon had to evolve to defeat it. But then Terriermon, what's called Asgargomon, changed into something that was more violent, and Lee regretted that. He felt like he spent so much time trying to make Terriermon stronger that he failed to nurture Terriermon's kindness. Which is also why he's apprehensive. If you watch the show, he's apprehensive about evolution early on. And it's also how he stands in opposition to Rika, who's all about getting stronger, as we talked about with the Ice Digimon situation. So yeah, in terms, Gorillamon has like important things in terms of Henry's characterization, whereas Ice Digimon is important in Rika's. On play, you may play a level 3 Digimon from one of your blue Digimon distribution cards without paying its memory cost. Gummimon, the baby form of Terriermon. Inherited, your turn was when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, draw 1 card. It's uncommon. Parasitemon, which also is a Digimon that didn't appear in the anime, but it's actually a villain from the movie. It actually is part of the Ground Locomon movie. It infests the brain of the Locomon and makes it run amok. It's actually not the Locomon that's the villain of that movie, it's the Parasitemon that is infecting it. Parasitemon is interesting because it's a Mega Digimon that isn't that strong. And that's because it's like a parasite. It's not strong on its own, but it has really, really strong mind powers, so it can take control over almost any Digimon. It might be as strong as a champion ultimate, I don't remember exactly where its power level is, but as I said, it's one of those things where it's like, it's not strong, it's not strong in sheer power, but it's strong in other ways. Mm-hmm. It's also the mega form of Autokenimon from O2. End of attack, you may place this Digimon under one of your Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card. That makes sense. You attack with it, and then it parasites. And then it has inherited security +1. This Digimon gets +2. That's very interesting. That's very accurate to how it was used in the movie.
That's a cool way to do the card.
Yeah, I think so. Like give it inherited to a Mega Digimon.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some Mega Digimon that has inherited because you're supposed to evolve them into level 7s, but this is like so that you can attack with it and put it elsewhere.
It's a hit and run.
Impmon, the new one from the show. Yeah. When this card is thrashed from a deck, if it wasn't thrashed by its own effect, you may trash up to 3 cards from the top of the deck. On play, reveal the top 4 cards of the deck, add 1 Digimon card with Beelzemon in its name, and 1 I and Marco, which is his tamers. If you only watch the start of the show, you may not know that Impmon actually has tamers. He has a traumatic experience where he leaves his tamers behind and starts believing he doesn't need humans. Which is also why he ends up cheating evolution, because he wants to prove that he can do it without humans. But by the end of it, he returns to his tamers and reconcile. It's very cute. Among them to your hand, place the remaining cards of the deck in any order. So you can like search for Beelzemon and search for Iron Marco. It makes sense because Impmon needs to go back to Iron Marco, and also the Beelzemon thing, he cheated to get to Beelzemon. While this Digimon has Beelzemon in its name, gets plus 3000 DP as inherited. I am interested in how this thing might synergize with the secret rare Beelzemon from Booster 2. The one that can digivolve directly on top of an Impmon.
Oh.
Which is also a reference to the show. As I said, Impmon cheats. He goes directly from Rookie to Mega.
That's a good point.
So yeah, that's probably also a reference to the show. Antilamon, the Deva. It actually has Deva in its...
that one.
Yeah, that's the rabbit. All of the Devas are ultimate level, by the way.
Okay.
And they all have like names that has that 3 syllable thing going for them. Antilamon, Katoramon, I can't remember any of the other ones. Santiramon, I think one of them was called. But there's like dang, 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 dang. They all have that. I don't know why. I also think that their names might be Japanese pronunciations of Chinese words, but don't quote me on that. I don't. It's a guesstimate because I never understood why their names was, even in the dub version, still was Antilamon, Katoramon, so on, so on.
Considering how some of the other names are like. But since
Lee points out that it's part of the Chinese zodiac, it might have something to do with that. Interestingly, if you have Shu Chong Wong in play, your Lopmon can digivolve into this card from your hand for a Digivolution cost of 3, ignoring its Digivolution requirements. I wonder, I might check a ruling of that, but that probably means you can evolve this on the purple Lopmon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it specifies Lopmon.
It says if you have Shu Chong Wong in play, your Lopmon can digivolve into this card in your hand for Digivolution cost of 3, ignoring its Digivolution requirements.
Color would be one of those, right?
Yeah, color would be a requirement. So yeah, I think you can evolve purple Lopmon to it as well. Once per turn, you trash the top card of your security to unsuspend this Digimon, so you can like deal damage to yourself to...
That would be pretty good in a purple-yellow combo deck.
Potentially, yeah. If you are willing to play Shu Chong Wong.
Sure.
Tamer. Let's get into another booster. Here's Ground Locomon! And I love the fact that that's basically the next mega we got after Parasitemon.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. This Digimon can't attack your opponent's Digimon. All turns for each card in your trash with Cyborg or Machine in its trait, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP. Honestly, I contemplate playing this with Kazu. We might get a Kazu. Gargomon. Andromon.
The fact that you mentioned that, yes, you will get one. Probably in this pack.
He's only an uncommon, so probably. ADR09 Gatekeeper, ADR03 Pendulum Feet. That's a new one.
That's new.
On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with D-Reaper in its trait and 1 ADR02 Searcher among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. So that's a Searcher for the Searcher.
Oh.
The Searcher is relatively important. And I don't mean that as a Searcher, but the thing that actually has Searcher in its name. High-speed plug-in D, again. ADR02 Searcher, we found it.
There it is.
You can include up to 50 copies of this card in your deck. When you would play this card from your hand, reduce its play cost by 2 if you don't have another ADR2 Searcher in play. This Digimon cannot attack players. On play, draw 1. Inherit all your Digimon with D-Reaper in the trait gets plus 1000 DP.
What was the first thing you said about it?
You can include up to 50 copies of cards with this card's card number in your deck.
50?
50.
50?
50.
You can have a full deck of just that?
Yeah, that's legal.
Who would do that?
It's actually because this is like the drone of the D-Reaper. The Mother Reaper is like the center core. This is the drone that does all the menial tasks.
Yeah.
So there's like a shit ton of them.
But why would you do a full deck of them?
They actually builds the deck focuses on having D-Reaper get in the anime, these things they search for things, collect data, and then they return to D-Reaper. And every time they do, the D-Reaper, the Mother D-Reaper gets stronger. So the entire deck surround is get as many of these and put them under your Mother Reaper.
But if you only have those, you have enough to put them under.
That is true. You wouldn't play 50 of them. But if you're running a good D-Reaper deck, you're probably running 16 of them.
True. Also, this plot, Cybersleuth took inspiration from this, right?
I think so, yeah.
It feels like it, right?
Yeah, they have.
Not necessarily in a bad way, mind you.
No. But yeah, this was a good show. Fist of the Beast King, Hopman, which is the baby form of Cyberman, which is inherited while you have a black team in play. This Digimon gets plus 1000. I actually like that effect. And Kazu Shioda, here he is, the best friend counterpart to Kenta Kitagawa down here. Start of the main phase. If you have a Digimon with Cyborg or Machine in its trait in play, gain 1 memory. The reason why he can both go for Cyborg and Machine is because his partner Andromon got damaged in his introductory episode so badly that he digivolved into Gardamon. He's actually Gardamon for the rest of the show.
Oh.
Yeah. Andromon is a Cyborg, Gardamon is Machine, so it covers both. Interestingly though, Machinedramon decks likes Cyborgs and Machines too. So this is actually it's like a tamer that's built for something absolutely unrelated, but fits perfectly into a Machinedramon deck. All turns when one of your Digimon Cyborg or Machine in its trait becomes suspended, you may suspend this tamer to draw a card. Then trash 1 card in your hand.
That's not too bad.
And here's Ryo Akiyama from the Wonder Swan.
There he is.
On play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Draymon or Justimon in its name among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom deck in any order. Your turn. When you attack with a black Digimon, you may suspend this tamer to have that Digimon get plus 1000 DP until the end of your turn. Okay. It's rare. And here we have another. This is just a Reaper.
Huh.
When you would play this Digimon, you may trash 7 or more Digivolution cards from the bottom of your Mother D-Reaper to reduce this Digimon's play cost to 0. It has Rush. When it attacks, you may place 2 ADR02 searches from the trash under this Digimon in any order as its Digivolution cards to unsuspend this Digimon.
It costs 20? Normally?
Yeah, but if you do it right, yeah. You have the Mother D-Reaper set up for this thing.
Then it's free.
But then, because the searchers are the ones you feed under it, then when you attack, and because of Rush you can attack with it immediately, you add 2 of those 7 searchers under it, it unsuspends. You attack again. Now it's stronger because the searchers has the inherited plus 1000.
Oh, yeah.
Then you add 2 more of those 7 searchers underneath. Attack again. It is mean.
Yeah, I know it's level less, but also just judging by pay and health, that's the equivalent of level 7, right?
It's a level, yeah. From its DP, yeah, it looks like the equivalent of level 7.
Yeah, just based on its stats generally.
It's something, all right.
Yeah.
It's oh, I can't see what card that is, but that looks like a super rare. So that's interesting. We already seen Cubimon, Locomon, Devidramon, Digivolution plugin S. While you have a tamer in play, you may use this card without meeting requirements, as with the other plugins. Draw one card, then you may digivolve one of your Digimon into a Digimon card in your hand that can digivolve for a Digivolution cost of 3 or less without paying its Digivolution cost. Securely reveal the top 3 cards of the deck, add one Digimon card among them to your hand, place the remaining cards above. So this one could search Digimon, and also it's an easy evolution card. It's not bad. I actually kind of like it. ADR08 Optimizer, we already seen this. ADR05 Creep Hands. We've not seen this one. Opponent's turn, while you have a Mother D Reaper in play, this Digimon gains blocker.
Oh.
Nothing more. But that's also like, it's simple, and it's effective.
Blocker is good.
Blocker is good. Offensive plugin A, Labramon, Yaman, the baby form of Impmon. Inherited, your turn, while there are 10 or more cards in your trash, this Digimon gets plus 2,000. Talmon, when Digivolving, you may play one Rika Nunaka from your hand without paying its memory cost. So, 3 tamers. Your turn, once per turn, when you use an option card with cost 2 or more, one of your Digimon gets minus 2,000. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2,000 DP for the turn.
Important distinction.
Important distinction indeed. And here we have the Gilmon from the set. I absolutely adore Gilmon. I can't help, whenever I see Gilmon, I can't help but think of that scene where Takato is trying to explain to Gilmon his name. You're Gilmon, I'm Takato. Takatomon! No, I'm not a Digimon. I'm Takato. Takatomon.
Close enough.
It's an absolutely adorable scene. Unplay, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add one card with Groundmon or Gallantmon in its name, and one Takato Matsuki among them to your hand. So it's searcher for
Takatomon.
As inherited when attacking, if this Digimon is a Groundmon or Gallantmon, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP less. You can start deleting a lot of shite if you have both this one and the Groundmon in the same.
True. Ooh.
Okay, so this is rares. Rares goes up here. This is our second super rare, Justimon Blitzarm, which is Cybertron's Megaform, the partner of Ryo Akiyama and Ryo Akiyama's Biomerge. As you said, the Biomerge are relatively humanoid because they're part human. When Digimon activate one of the effects below, this Digimon gets 2000 DP for the turn. Unspend this Digimon, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost 5 or less. When attacking once per turn for each tamer you have in play, activate this Digimon's when Digivolving effect. Okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah. When it attacks, you can pretend it's Digivolving if you have a tamer in play.
That? Huh.
And since it has 3 different Digivolution effects, including unsuspend this Digimon. That's not bad.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Is that level? It's only level 6? Huh.
It's a level 6, yeah. It's a mega. There isn't that many level 7s.
Also, Vox doesn't see this, but if anyone looks at me during this and think, wow, he looks so confused, it's because I have a hard time following a lot of text being read out loud.
Got Labmon, and Growlmon, and Strikemon. Just ignore what she said and continue with the cards.
That's the important part anyway.
ADR02 Searcher, ADR7 Pallet's Head, Gorillamon, Fist of the Beast King, ADR04 Bubbles, Digimon, the baby form of Gilmon. When attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has Gilmon, Growlmon, or Gallantmon in its name, draw 1. Fireball, Gilmon's attack. Main, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. If the opponent's Digimon wasn't deleted by this effect, draw 2. So you can either delete something or you can draw 2.
Nice. Good to have choice.
Yeah. Blue card.
Shiny card.
Yeah. The blue card is actually a very interesting thing that happens in the anime, where the blue card is required for some of the evolutions.
Really?
Yeah, but they only appear under certain circumstances. I don't remember what it is that makes them appear. But there's actually a hilarious scene where Kazu draws a blue card with a blue marker, and it works. They card slash it and it works. Oh, I have to say this about the blue cards. The blue cards become inactive after use, so they need a new blue card every time they need to evolve. So yeah, Kazu is just like, oh, they're like, we need a blue card. Oh no. And Kazu stand there, I made you one. And they're like, are we desperate enough? We're desperate enough.
Blue. Just bootleg blue card.
While you have a tamer in play, you may use this card without meeting its color requirements.
Would have been hilarious if that created some weird Digimon.
That is true. But you know what's interesting about this is actually something else. That is the way Gilmon was created. Gilmon was actually an OC Digimon designed by Takato.
Oh.
That accidentally got scanned. Or not accidentally, he wanted to scan it with his Digivice. That got scanned by his Digivice. And then Gilmon hatched from an egg from that. So basically what happened was that Gilmon's data got stored in the Digivice and then got converted into Digimon.
So Gilmon's a bootleg Digimon.
Yeah, you could say that. But yeah. Reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. You may Digivolve one of your Digimon into a non-white Digimon card among them without paying its memory cost. If you don't, add one Digimon card among them to your hand. Place your memory cards above the deck in any order. So, it's a really good searcher. You may play one Tamer card from your hand without paying its memory cost as its security effect. This is honestly one of those cards you could take into any deck. Here we have Cyberdramon, the base form of Ryo Akiyama's Digimon. The interesting thing about that is actually the way that they try to portray Ryo as this cool, stronger tamer. Again, the fact that Cyberdramon is aggressive Digimon that needs a good tamer to keep it in check. But it's also an ultimate level. Everyone else's default form is Rookie. So it also infers Ryo is like a very experienced tamer. The protag of the Japanese exclusive WonderSwan game. I'm not gonna let that go. Not until we get it, Bandai.
Can't you just find a WonderSwan emulator? Good luck.
When Digivolve, you may play Ryo Akiyama from your hand without paying his cost. Your turn, while you have no tamers in play, this Digimon can't attack. That comes back to the whole... you really need a good tamer to rein it in. Which is a fine reference. As inherited, once per turn, if you have 2 or more black tamers in play, Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon.
Oh.
Yeah.
It is cool how this game, like so many Digimon's effects, try to reference different things in the anime.
Oh yeah, hilariously, one of the first Leomons has the ability on deletion game.
That is fitting.
I believe it was Game 1 Either that draw a card. It wasn't anything special. It's just the fact that they gave him a non-deletion, which was at the time mostly exclusive to Purple. But he got a non-deletion anyways.
It's Leomon. It's Leomon.
Yeah, Leomon has to die. Leomon doesn't know how to not die.
Well, I mean, it's written into the very code of the digital world. He has to.
Yeah, simply unavoidable. So yeah.
Now I'm starting to see what you mentioned to me before we start recording, that there's not that many different cards in this booster.
Yeah. Oh, we got the alternative art for the Gardramon.
Oh, that looks really good.
Yeah, it's actually a screenshot from the anime, but up rest, I think either that or it's a replication of the anime art style. I don't know which it is. Regardless, it's like it's the Gardramon card, the Gardramon card in the Tamer's art style with Kazu, and that's how they do all the alternative art in here.
That's really nice.
I would say it sucks that I got the Kazu alternative art. I'd really rather Rikas or Lee's or Takatas, but you know what? It's fine.
Is there only one alternative in the entire box?
I don't know. But it does eat one of the slots.
That is true.
But Kazu is a cool enough character, and I like Gardramon. It's just the others are a little bit cooler, you know? On play, one of your Digimon gets plus 3000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn, and it also has Blocker. We're gonna put this here because it's an alternate art. Let's get into the next one. So, what do we get? We get another Mephistomon, Ground Locomon, Gargomon, Gatemon, Plugin, Ice Devimon, Pendulum Fiend, Optimizer, Reapermon. I don't remember why this thing is here.
No relation to Reaper?
I don't remember. I think reboot. It has reboot. On the opponent's once per turn, when your opponent's Digimon becomes unspent, Digivolve that Digimon.
Wait, is that a new effect?
Huh?
Reboot?
Reboot. Unsuspend this Digimon during your opponent's unsuspend phase. This is usually something that's really good to have on bloggers.
I don't think I've heard of reboot as an
Reboot is mostly only seen in black decks, and
that's why then.
Yeah, we haven't
really touched those
we haven't
yet.
really messed around with black deck. But yeah, Reapermon here is it's not related to the D Reaper. That much is sure. I think it might be from the movie. I'm pretty sure it's not from the show. It might be from the movie because I think it might be related to Ground Pokemon and Parasaurmon, but I'm not sure. I don't remember.
It's always fascinating when you're at a loss, like memory-wise. I mean, for all you know, you might be trying to remember something that is like a obscure thing.
Yeah, it's likely an obscure thing.
Oh, you mentioned her earlier.
Yeah, Alice McCoy. She is the one that's supposedly a fan person, as far as I know. It might be one of those things where it's like a playground rumor that I remember as fact, or it might be fact. So take that with a grain of salt. But I do believe it was a fan that was recreated, which also explains why she basically only appears for a couple of scenes.
It also explains why she seems to be in a slightly different art style.
Yeah, I don't remember the details behind what actually happened with that, but she's definitely not one of the main characters, but they still gave her a card, so that's cool. Her partner is Doberman, as I said, and that might be a Digimon designed by the same person. If those stories are to be believed, I might double check that at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have double checked that before this video so I could say it with more confidence, but...
It's too late.
yeah. Your turn. Once per turn. When one of your Digimon would Digivolve from level 5 or to level 6, you may delete one of your Digimon to reduce the Digivolution cost by 3.
Not too bad.
That's pretty good. I'm gonna delete Impmon. And he lets me trash 3 cards.
That's true.
And, oops.
Oh, spoiler.
Well, we got Alice, McCoy, and Doberman in the same booster, right next to each other, in fact. I love when that kind of stuff happens. Doberman actually dies in the anime. It sacrifices itself to digitize people.
Oh.
Yeah. Because they couldn't biomerge in the human realm, because they have flesh and blood in the human world. So they could only do that in the digital world until Doberman sacrifices itself to digitize them. No idea how that works. Wibbly wobbly science fantasy.
Digimagic.
Yeah. When you would play this card from your hand, reduce its play cost by 2 if you have Alice McCoy in play. To 3. That's actually as cheap as a rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Undeletion trash of course it has an undeletion effect. Trash the top 3 cards of your deck, then return 1 purple Digimon card or purple Tamer card from your trash to your hand. Rika. She has the standard 2 memory or less you get free. Or get up to 3. Your turn. When you attack with Digimon with Renamon, Cubimon, Tamon, or Sakyamon in this name. This is what happens when you have an entire evolution line that doesn't have like a thematic name thing going for them. Like Greymon, Metal Greymon, War Greymon. Rika's or Rui's partner, Renamon, Cubimon, Tamon, Sakyamon. In its name, you may suspend this tamer to use an option card with plug-in in its name from your hand without paying its memory cost. This is interesting. This is also a reference to the anime. It's interesting because Rui was like an expert on the Digimon card game, and she always knew how to use the exact right cards at the right moment, or at least to play her up so like that. Again, in practice, what happened was that we're losing, / we're winning. But yeah, they play her up as like being this expert on the card game, and it's also why she's kind of like the most competent of the 3 main character kids, at least at the beginning. But as I said, where she's competent in sheer knowledge as a tamer or sheer tamer experience, she lacks heart, which is what the other 2 has. And again, she kind of stands as the foil to Lee or Henry, because he opposes power for a more pacifistic attitude because of his history with Gorillamon.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I can tell you're passionate about this specific season.
I am. It is downright the best season. I've been around since the original show, since Adventure. I'm a fan of all of them, but the thing is, thoroughly believe that critically speaking, Tamers is the best, most solid show among the anime because it had a very concise story and a very precise story that someone wanted to tell, and it came directly from the heart. We know that the director behind Tamers, I don't remember his name, I'm sorry, drew inspiration from his own experiences and let that paint onto the story in very beautiful ways. So critically speaking, I think this is the best. My favorite Digimon show is somewhere between O2 and Frontier, and both of those are trash piles. So I'm saying this not as someone who's being biased, because I try to be like analytical, and I think in terms of telling the most cohesive story and having the best pacing, Tamers, you don't go wrong. I have so much nostalgia for O2 and the original show, and Frontier, because it's like human transform into Digimon thing, it tickles that power fantasy in the back of my mind. That's like that kind of like comes with being trans, with the territory of being trans. So yeah, Andromon, Cubimon, Locomon, Caesarmon, High Speed Plugin, Creep, Hands, Horn, Striker, Plugin A.
Oh.
Here comes Shaman, the baby form of Labramon. While this Digimon is level 4, it gets plus 1000 DP. I don't think this is that great unless you're running armor purge. Because most of those are level 4. Rapidmon, the evolved form Gargomon. When Digimon, if you have a green tamer in place, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. As inherited, your turn, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, this Digimon gains security plus 1. I like that. I might use that.
There it is.
Here's the Mother D-Reaper, which is a Digitama card.
What? That's a Digitama card?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I revealed Terramon a bit early here, but yeah, that's a Digitama card.
Huh.
Yeah, that confused me too, but the idea is that, it's the source of all the Reapers.
Oh, it's what you build upon.
Yeah. It's the source of all the Reapers. Also,
that's a very strong Digitama.
Yeah. All turns, this Digimon can't attack and isn't affected by your opponent's effects. Once per turn, if you don't have another Mother D-Reaper in play, place one of your RDR O2 searchers from in play or from your hand under this Digimon as its bottom distribution card. Your turn. When you would play a card with D-Reaper in its traits from your hand, you may reduce its play cost by 1 for each of this Digimon's distribution cards. I don't think you can move Mother D-Reaper out of the breeding area though.
Well, if you place as a card underneath it,
you can't move Digitamas out of.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Or is it that it's level 2s you can't, because this is levelless? Then you could, but also can't. I'm gonna double check that ruling.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering the exact same.
Taemon. Once per turn, when you play a green Taemon game, this is the one I really want the alternate out for. I really love Taemon. Taemon is adorable.
It's cute.
Momantai. That is Cantonese and means relax. Or it actually means no problem, but it's usually used as relax. And for those of you who don't know, Cantonese is one of many, many, many Chinese languages. Actually, one of the main two, Cantonese and Mandarin, two main ones. But there is a lot of Chinese languages.
Which in itself is fascinating, but that's tangent entirely.
Oh yeah, that's the entire tangent. It also means to be noted Xu and Li, or Henry, are of Cantonese descent.
Oh yeah, good point.
When you play a green tamer, gain 1 memory. Your turn inherited. When an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, this Digimon gets plus 2000. So yeah.
You don't have 1000 health? Or DP?
Yeah.
For level 3? That's a bit rough.
What do you mean that's rough? Level 3s don't have that much.
They don't usually have the bare minimum.
Some of them have if they're really good effects.
Fair.
Actually, I think if it's 1000 DP often, it means it's a relatively good card.
Because then it's easy to get trashed from the enemy.
No, because then it usually has a really good inherited effect. You don't want to stick around, you want to evolve it immediately.
Point.
Especially in green that evolves constantly.
That is a very good point.
Devidermon, Loudmon, Growlmon, ADR2, Gorillamon. I think we might have seen all the commons.
Yeah, all the cards.
Jerry Kato, or Judy. She's the Leomon tamer.
Is that another localization of a localized name?
Unplay. You may play one Leomon from your hand without paying its memory cost. Opponent's turn. When an opponent's Digimon attacks, you may suspend this tamer to draw one card. So yeah, so you can get Leomon. Actually, it's very interesting how, because in most of the cases when someone becomes your partner in this show, a Digivice basically just spawns. And that usually happens when a connection is formed between two Digimon, which usually happens very instantly for most of them. Judy was running around after Leomon, after a lot of Digimon, because she wanted to have a partner. But for the episode with Leomon specifically, she was running around, and he didn't want anything to do with her, and he was and she was annoying him, and he did not want her to get hurt either, and she was just running around him all day. And then eventually, after all that hard work, Leomon realized that he liked this girl, and then the Digivice spawned. It's just
Stay away from me.
It was honestly, it's a hilarious episode, and after all of that, Beelzemon just sticks his hand through his stomach.
Stop. Oh yeah, it's Leomon.
Yeah, it's
Damn
Leomon.
it.
It's Leomon. Yeah.
Oh no. Ooh.
ADR1, Judy or Jerry. So spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah. While they're in the digital world, the D-Reaper actually gets a hold of her while she is depressed and in grief over Leomon, which is really, really bad. D-Reaper is actually a cleansing program that's meant to delete all trash. Now, something that's supposed to delete everything is also affected by the grieving emotions of an adolescent girl. Yes.
How to make a program go rampantly wrong.
Oh yeah. It's also why the scenes where she's going to be saved by Beelzemon is so effective, because it's all of the things that happens up on all of the bad things that happens related to the D-Reaper is Beelzemon's fault.
I need to watch this sometime because
You really do. It's really good.
it's also reminding me there's so many plot points. It's like that's like Cyber Sleuth, but different. Fascinating.
You may suspend this Digimon to reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Place one ADR02 searcher among them under one of your mother D-Reapers at the bottom Digivolution card. Place remaining cards at the bottom of your deck and ignore. So it's a searcher. Interesting. Makes sense. Honestly, when the D-Reapers started to take the shape of her, that was... I swear, this show is nightmare fuel. I and Marco, the tamers of Impmon. Impmon actually has twin tamers.
Because Impmon cheats.
It's interesting because we have seen stories where there's some tamers that have 2 Digimon, like Wallace, that's Willis, or Mireille. But I and Marco is the opposite. 2 tamers having to share 1 Digimon, which is honestly what went wrong with Impmon, why he got traumatized in the end, because they you can see how young they are.
Yeah.
So you can easily see how it's like, no, he's mine.
Damn kids.
Yeah, it absolutely stressed him out. They have the standard effect of if you have 2 memory or less, you may you get to 3. Your turn, when you attack with a Digimon, you may suspend this tamer to trash the top card of your deck. Then, if the attacking Digimon is Beelzemon, you may devolve it into a Beelzemon Blast mode in your trash for a Digivolution cost of 3. That's an interesting reference, because near the end of the show, where Impmon is actually, he returns to his tamers, realizing that he made a mistake, he regrets what he did to Leomon, and he thinks that he can't do anything right anymore, and that this is all his fault, the D-Reaper, everything. And they just cheer him up and listen to his story about his adventure. They also apologized for how they treated him, almost like he was a toy. And then they're like, they conclude, the 3 of them, that he needs to go back and help his friends. But before he leaves, they give him a water gun. a toy water gun. Or either it was a water gun or it was a toy blaster, I don't remember. But because it's Digimon, what happens is that he absorbs that into himself, the data of it, which makes him which transforms him from Beelzemon into Beelzemon Blast Mode, which is a Beelzemon with a gun.
Ah, makes sense.
Oh, well, he already has guns, but it's a Beelzemon with a bigger gun.
More gun.
Oh, here we have Beelzemon.
The timing.
I swear, man, this booster set really wants to put everything next to each other in the best of ways.
It's built for storytelling.
I kind of hoped it had been Blast Mode, but Blast Mode is the secret rare. When this card is thrashed from your deck, you may play one Impmon from your thrash without paying its cost. So when Beelzemon isn't around, Impmon appears. That makes sense?
Yeah.
When Digivolving or when attacking, you may trash the top 2 cards of your deck, then delete one of your opponent's level 3 or lower Digimon. For every 10 cards in your trash, add 1 maximum level of Digimon you can choose with this effect. So that means if you have 10, you can choose a level 4. If you have 20, you can choose a level 5, like in the Peter one. It would be cool if we got Beelzemon Blast Mode.
It's true.
Or Gallantmon Crimson Mode. We're not getting both. They're both secret. We're only getting one of them. I like both. As long as we get a secret, I'll be happy.
With your draw lock, I wouldn't put it past you.
Okay, so Strikemon, Mephistomon, Ground Locomon, Caesarmon, Creep Hands, Labramon, Pallet Head, Beast King, Shuchang Wong. We found Lee's sister. On play, you may play one Lotmon from your hand without paying its cost. Start of the turn, you may have, if you have 3 or fewer security card, draw 1 card. I would prefer memory, but
Yeah.
okay. So
Is your phone alright?
yeah, I'm just making sure.
Okay.
Monodramon, the rookie form of Cyberdramon, which we only see like once, I think. And I believe that's because they go into Granny, which is a ship. Actually, it's an arc that's supposed to take the kids from the digital world to the human world, because they had no way to get back without help. And when they're in that arc, all the Digimon go back to their rookie form, so their space form. So when Cyberdramon goes in there, oh, Monodramon.
Yeah.
On play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add all Black Tamers cards among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck. So Monodramon can search for Rio. Makes sense. We got Renamon. Reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with QB, Taum, or Sakuyamon in its name. And 1, again, as I said before, Rika Nonaka, Ruri, among them to your hand. Place the remaining at the bottom of the deck in any order. Inherited when you use an option card with cost 2 or more, gain 1 memory. I love how all of Rika's Digimon and her own effect is about those option cards, those plugins that she's so efficient at using. All that card slash. You have to put the card slash song in the background whenever you play a game. Oh, that's an uncommon. Whenever you use a Rika Cubimon deck. And here we have the Gatramon. We already know, but it's the regular art, which is also not bad.
Yeah.
It looks good. And now we're halfway through the booster already. I honestly thought this video would be shorter than usual, but it's longer than usual because I talk more.
Yeah, it's almost as if I'm asking questions that get you on a bit off topic. Well, on topic, but...
Okay. As I said, I don't think there's any comments left we haven't seen already. Takato! Finally, we get some Protect power. Your turn. When an opponent's Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this team to gain 1 memory. Your turn. When one of your Digimon would Digivolve into Digimon with Gallantmon or Groundmon in its name, which means anything in the Devolution line, that Digimon gains when Digivolving Blitz. Okay.
What's Blitz?
Blitz is this can attack even if you have less than 0 memory, which basically means that it's like the turn is changing now, but I'm still gonna attack you before we go.
I was wondering if that was a thing that would be in this game, but yeah, cool.
It is. Another Kalma. I really like the artwork for Collab, to be honest.
Are there many Blitz cards?
There's a handful of them, yeah. Like, almost everything with Shoutmon is Blitz related. And we're getting more Shoutmon cards with Booster 10, because we're getting into Cross Wars.
Oh yeah, true.
Digimon, Lovemon. Common. Uncommon. And Marine Angemon, we already have that. And, okay, we got 3 of this guy so far, and I want to make a Terriermon deck, so I am absolutely on board with that. But I don't have that many Willis. I would kind of like to play 4 of each of them in the deck. Strike them on. More commons. A couple of uncommons. Another Impmon. Ooh, it's Leo. Well, I guess card has to opponent's turn. While you have a tamer in play, this Digimon gains blocker. So the way Leomon dies in the show is that actually Beelsmon was about to kill Judy, and Leomon protects her. So when you have a tamer, this thing can block. Gain 2 memory and draw 1 on deletion.
That makes sense. Since it's a blocker with only 4,000 DP, yeah, that's probably gonna happen.
So yeah, that's quite a reference to the anime. But also, first of all, sorry if there was a hiccup with the camera a few seconds ago. We ran into some technical issues. That's why we lost a little bit of footage. So I just grabbed the Leomon card and made sure it was in frame while the audio, which were saved, ran. That's it. I think this is probably the card that's going to be the most relevant in the meta in competitive, because it's a really good blocker.
Yeah, sure.
Like, it may not be powerful, but you don't want to get your opponent gain 2 memory and draw a card. Like, you can block with this thing and then end the opponent's turn theoretically.
That is true.
Yeah, so this thing has a lot of potential. It's really good. It's really good to let Leomon die. If there's anything we ever learned from watching the TV show, it's good to let Leomon. It's a super rare. It's a champion super rare. Oh my god. No wonder it's such a good blocker.
A worthy sacrifice.
So, let's continue. I just love when we get technical difficulties midway through the...
It's so fun stitching everything together afterwards.
I know, right?
I know, because I've had that too before. A
Uh,
third one?
yeah, it's only a rare.
Oh, you almost have a playset.
That is true. Another super rare, and it's the Mega Gargomon. Woo! I really wanted that. Mega Gargomon. When Digimon for each green tamer you have in play, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. They don't unsuspend during your opponent's next unsuspend phase.
Ooh.
Ooh. When attacking, once turn, return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon with DP less than or equal to this Digimon's DP to its owner's hand. So it's a bouncer. Who doesn't like a good bouncer? When they're standing in front of your club and they're throwing out all the nerds. Which would be this one with the big glasses.
I'm not a Digimon nerd at least. Wait, that would have been good right now if I was.
Yeah. Then the uncommons. Then the rare Antilimon and Ryo Akiyama again.
You got everything.
Yep, we sure have a lot of stuff.
Don't tell me that there's only going to be like 5 minutes of recording after the tech issue.
It's very possible. It's very possible. Because sometimes it just, happens.
True.
That let's see here. That's an uncommons. Those go here. Got another Tagato. And another Mega Gargomon. This is the alternate art. I'm just realizing. I got 2 of them. That's great. I want as many of them as I can get.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. Let's see. Gonna open another bunch of commons here. Then a couple of uncommons. Another Reaper. Another Gilmon. Okay. So this is there are 6 boosters left, I think.
Still room for something interesting.
That is true. A lot of commons. We already been over those. The uncommons. Another blue card. Another Cyberdramon. Do you think there's gonna be another good one in here?
That has to be. It's your draw lock.
We haven't seen a secret rare yet.
That is true. Yet.
It would hurt a lot if we didn't get a secret rare, but not all booster displays is gonna have one.
True.
Doublemon, Gallantmon, super rare. This is actually Mega Gargomon is actually the biomerge for Lee, as you see, also humanoid. Gallantmon is the biomerge for Tagato, also very humanoid, and one of the Royal Knights. This Digimon gets plus 2000 DP during your turn, making it a 14 hitter, but a 12 for defense. Your turn, while you have a red team in play, add 2000 to the maximum DP you can choose with DP-based deletion effects. So this thing can combine off of the deletion effects from the Inherited as well as with Megidramon. When attacking, choose any number of your opponent's Digimon whose total DP adds up to 6000 less and delete them. It also combines with its own effects so that you can move it up to 8000 and delete them.
Damn.
Yeah, it's not bad. 4 boosters. I really want a secret rare, and I'm starting to get a little nervous, not gonna lie. So,
I mean, if one of us gets one in the box, it has to be you.
so what you're telling me is if I don't get it, none of us will.
Basically.
Okay, 3 boosters left. Are there gonna be a high rare left in here?
Possibly.
Do you think we're gonna get anything in the last 3 boosters?
I mean, you get cards.
That is true. We'll get anything worthwhile.
Hopefully.
Here is an alternate art secret rare Gallantmon Crimson mode. Oh, okay.
Told you.
So Crimson mode Gallantmon is actually what happens when Granny fuses with Gallantmon. Do you remember Granny?
Granny?
Yeah, the Ark. It's
Oh,
Granny.
right, yeah.
Yeah. That actually has its own sentience and it's only Tagato that can communicate with it, and it arrives.
I am the ship.
It arrives during the finale of the show and fuses with Gallantmon to become Gallantmon Crimson, which is like the level 7 for Gallantmon. When Digimon, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. Ow. When attacking, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. Add 1 number of cards trashed by the effect for every 10 cards. So just when it attacks, it destroys your security.
That makes sense.
Doesn't even have to hit, it just does.
Bye-bye.
This is mean. This is aggressive. I could imagine that thing actually being relevant as well.
Yeah.
In some red decks.
It's weird that we haven't seen that much relevancy for these cards yet.
There were only one tournament and there was some delay with some of the shipments, which is why we're first recording now, which might have effect. I don't know if that was locally for us only or if it...
I saw on Reddit that at least Norway and Sweden were also hit by this problem.
Okay.
So it seems like it's parts of Europe that got this booster late.
Yeah, so that could be one of the reasons. Another,
True.
But also, when you also look at the Japanese meta though, as I said, but it's, yeah. So more of the commons we already seen, more of the uncommons we already seen, more of the rares we already seen. Another one of the Terriermons though.
And the last one.
Yep, I think we might have hit all of our high rares already, but would be cool if there was one last one. But honestly, with that there, I'm very satisfied. That's probably the most expensive card in the set. If it's not that one, it's Beelzemon Blast Mode, Secret Rare, Alternate Art. And yeah, that's Gardramon.
Oh well.
But yeah, that was pretty cool.
It's not that cool.
No, it's not. And that was only 8 minutes. Yeah, we got technical difficulties. We stepped away for like half an hour and 8 minutes of recording.
Well, I mean, plus a bit more because outro.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. And well, can you grab that?
Yes. Also.
Oh.
No. Okay, I didn't know it was actually resting on it.
Okay, that's I hope that wasn't too loud for you guys. We just dropped everything, but yeah, okay. I just want to show you guys that here is another display that we're gonna be opening on MadsRenai's channel, and it's gonna be linked down below. So yeah.
Yeah. Also, quick thing about that. when I do these unboxings, it's slightly different because I don't really focus on what the cards do, so it's gonna be more focused on what they look like and if I know them at all. So less informative, but
I'm the Digimon nerd, and she only plays the card game,
yeah, I'm just along for the fun.
and she doesn't know how to play card games. So
Also that.
yeah. Again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and I need to remount this before we start opening the next one. But yeah, I guess I will be spawning out, and we'll be seeing you in a moment. Bye!
Bye.